Good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Thursday. It is October 2nd. It's 2025. And we got ourselves, essentially, a tiebreaker. Best of three, third game. Red Sox win the first. Yankees come back and win last night. And 47 years to the day of one of the great tiebreakers in baseball history between the Yankees and the Red Sox, the Bucky Dent game. It'll be the Yankees and the Red Sox again tonight at Yankee Stadium in prime time, 8 o'clock start. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. It's for all the marbles. Now, it's not really all the marbles because all you do is win and then you go to Toronto and start a best of five on Saturday. But yesterday made this possible. The Yankees played a gritty, gutty, clean game for the most part, and the Red Sox, they didn't play the cleanest game. They made mistakes, which kind of unlike them. The interesting thing about yesterday's game is that Alex Cora managed the game as if there was no tomorrow. But there is a tomorrow, and that's today. And I think he managed the game as if there was no tomorrow because he knows that he's probably not the favorite in tonight's game. The Yankees are sending Cam Schlittler out to the mound. This will be his 15th big league start. He has acquitted himself quite well, pitching to a 2.9-something ERA, 2.96, and he's going to face a rookie left-hander for the Red Sox, Connolly Early, and this is the 5th big league start for Connolly Early. So think about that. Two kids, two neophytes are pitching to save their team's season. Now, although Schlittler is just a rookie, he's a veteran compared to Early. Triple the amount of starts, 15-5. Early was called up late because the Red Sox are short on pitching. And the Red Sox were trying to avoid a third game at all costs because their third game pitcher is not even on the 26-man roster. And if the Red Sox do advance, probably not going to pitch all of October. And that's Lucas Giolito. That was the ultimate plan. You're going to get Bayo in Game 2, Crochet in Game 1, and Giolito in Game 3. But Giolito's elbow is bad, and he's essentially on the IL. He's not on the 26-man roster. So they've got to go with Connolly Early. Now, they essentially have to go with a bullpen because they will get Connolly early. They will take him out quickly because you saw what Cora did yesterday. Brian Bayo gave up that 2-run home run in the first inning to Ben Rice, and then he was out with 1 out in the third inning. And you kind of said, whoa, what's he doing? He's giving up 2 runs, 4 hits, and a walk. And Cora said, I've got to win this game. I don't think this guy has it. I'm going to take him out. And he started to mix and match out of the bullpen. Now, you might say he made a mistake doing that. And I say he didn't. The only thing that makes it a mistake is that they ended up losing the game. But they had a chance to win the game. And that's all you want in a game that you feel is a must-win. I believe that if he kept Bayo in, the Yankees might end up winning that game 8-3 or 9-3. So he massaged the bullpen, brought in lefties, first Justin Wilson, then righties. He kept going back and forth, pitching to the lanes that he wanted to pitch to. I thought he managed a great, great game. But they lost. That's what makes it now tough because all those pitchers that you used, you might have to use them again tonight. And the most important pitcher that you used, Garrett Whitlock. Garrett Whitlock threw, I think, 47 pitches yesterday, the most that he had thrown all year in an outing was 18, where he pitched the next day. 18. But he pushed him. He felt he was his best pitcher other than Chapman, and he wanted to win that game. And the reason why the Red Sox didn't win that game is that Garrett Whitlock, who's coming back from the internal brace surgery, which is a modified Tommy John, he ran out of gas. Jazz Chisholm walked with 2 outs. Then Austin Wells worked the count to 3-2. So that means with 3-2 and 2 outs, Jazz Chisholm was going. And he went. And Wells rips a bullet down the right field line. It kicks off the side wall at the stadium. If it goes into the corner, Jazz Chisholm scores easily. Anybody scores easily. But it kicked out. It kicked out to Eaton. But Jazz was going, and he covered first to home in 9.16 seconds. Now, if you watch the replay, he didn't even really start motoring until he got close to second base. It was almost like he was fast jogging. But boy, did he turn on the burners. Because 9.16 seconds from first to home is 2 seconds faster than the average runner can do. The average runner goes 11.16 seconds. So Jazz was covering 29 feet per second in terms of sprint speed, which is faster than most anybody in the big leagues. And he needed every single ounce of that sprint speed. He needed every single second of that 9.1 seconds to get in ahead of the tag by Narvaez, because Eaton made a great throw. And this all happened in the 8th inning, bottom of the 8th inning. That gave the Yankees a 4-3 lead. Then they bring in Bednar to pitch the 9th inning. And he strikes out Abreu, pinch hitting. He strikes out Duran for the second out. And then let me put you inside the Yes Network studios. There's a big board behind the desk where we do the pre- and post-game show. It's like 6 television screens put together. I dream about having that in my house. So we weren't facing the cameras. We all had our back to the cameras, me, Jack, John Flaherty, and Bob Lorenz. And we're watching. And the ball left the bat of Ceddanne Rafaela. And I punched Jack in his right shoulder because he's standing to my left. And everybody let out a groan because I thought the ball was gone. I thought it was a tie game. Everybody thought it was gone. But then Judge backs up to the warning track and makes the play. End of the ball game, and the Yankees win an absolute thriller, 4-3. Couple of things that jumped out at me. The Red Sox did not play a clean game. So there was a play when Fernando Cruz came on in relief of Carlos Rodon. Rodon, for some reason, just lost the strike zone in the 7th inning. Lost it completely. He walks Eaton, and then he hits Jarren Duran with the 4th pitch of an at-bat. So he threw 8 straight pitches, not even close to the strike zone. He just lost it. I don't know why. And then Boone very wisely took him out and brought in Cruz. This is where things started to go wrong. So first and second, nobody out. And Cora asked Ceddanne Rafaela to bunt. It's hard to bunt Cruz. His stuff moves. So he got a breaking ball outside, and Rafaela tried to bunted it straight up to Cruz, 1 away. Then Nick Sogard with a fly ball to left field, 2 away. And then Yoshida, who got that big hit in game 1, pinch hit for Refsnyder, and he hits a bullet up the middle, and Jazz Chisholm, full body dive, makes the grab, gets up, probably ill-advisedly throws off balance to first base. And the ball is not blocked sufficiently by Rice. And it gets by him. His job right there is not to get the out, because he was probably not going to get the out. Yoshida was going to beat it out. Is to make sure the ball doesn't get by him. But it got by him. For some reason, Eaton did not score. I think there's your ball game. Eaton did not score. The third base coach, Kyle Hudson, held him up initially because he thought the ball was going to be in front of Rice. And then Eaton stopped and was not able to pick it up and score. He would have scored easily. And that would have given the Red Sox the lead. And then Trevor Story had a great game. He drove in all 3 Red Sox runs. He comes up with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and hits an absolute pea to center field. But Grisham runs it down, ended the inning, ended the threat. So 2 really bad moves by the Red Sox in terms of not executing, not getting the bunt down, and then not scoring on the ball that got past right. So the Yankees catch a break, and they win the game 4-3. They played essentially a clean game. The one mistake they made was Rodon threw a ball away on a bunt, and that was in the third inning. And that ended up leading to the 2 runs that they scored in that third inning. And then the home run to Trevor Story, he gave up to Trevor Story in the 6th. So Rodon pitched okay. 6 innings, 3 runs. That's the very definition of a quality start. Didn't pitch great. Pitched okay. But he gave the Yankees a chance to win. Bayo essentially didn't give the Red Sox a chance to win, made them empty their bullpen, and made them use Whitlock for all those pitches. Is he available tonight? I guess everybody's available tonight, but the question is, how effective will he be? Now, the Yankees have a little bit of a conundrum, too, because they use Bednar in the first 2 games. They don't usually use their relief pitchers 3 in a row, but all those rules go out the window. And I know they go out the window, everybody, but the question is, they go out the window, but are you as effective? They used Devin Williams in the first 2 games. Is he as effective tonight? Because in all likelihood, Cam Schlittler is going to give you 5+. If he gives you 6, you're absolutely thrilled. They are going to have to get outs out of the bullpen. They didn't go to Weaver yesterday. Is Weaver going to be available? And is he going to be effective? I think he's available, obviously. Can Devin Williams pitch effectively 3 days in a row? Can Fernando Cruz pitch effectively 3 days in a row? Can Bednar pitch effectively 3 days in a row? Or do you have to go deeper into your bullpen? Do we see a Camilo Doval? Do we see a Mark Leiter Jr.? Those are the questions that have to be asked. That's what makes this a scary, scary game. The Red Sox will have a fairly rested Chapman. Chapman got 4 outs in game 1, warmed up twice yesterday. Although Cora poo-pooed that. The first time he warmed up, he said that's how he prepares himself. It wasn't really a warm-up. And then he warmed up again in the 8th, but Cora kind of waved that off that he wasn't really throwing that hard. So you'd think that Chapman is well-rested. Might have to give them 2 innings. And I keep saying it over and over and over again. You are going to see these games decided by the bullpen. The first 2 games have been decided by the bullpen. And now this is for all the marbles. What manager is going to use the bullpen the best? What bullpen is going to answer the best? What bullpen is going to pitch the most effective innings and get the most number of outs? I think, just looking at the matchup, the Red Sox bullpen is going to have to get more outs than the Yankee bullpen. You can't predict. But I think Schlittler is not going to get scared out there. The moment's not going to be too big. He's a really flat-line guy. And he throws 99 miles an hour. Usually pounds the strike zone. Early, who knows? Before he was called up, 7th best prospect on the Red Sox farm system, but not even in the top 100 in all of baseball. A lot to throw on a kid. I can't wait for tonight. The game's at 8 o'clock because the Dodgers won yesterday. If the Dodgers had lost, then it was going to be 1, 3, 6, and 8 again. Know this. When this format began in 2022, the team that won the first game wins the series all the time. But when the format began, only one series had gone 3 games. Now 3 of these series have gone 3 games. Padres came back and won game 2, forcing a game 3 today. And the Guardians won game 2, forcing a game 3 today. So this is great for baseball. 3 elimination games in one day before we start the ALDSs and the NLDSs. All right, we got some guests today, also talking football with Dan Orlovsky and Chris Simms. So let me get you all involved again, but let me get you ready for the enormity of this game. 47 years ago today, also an afternoon game, but at Fenway Park and not at Yankee Stadium, this happened.
Deep to left. Yastrzemski will not get it. It's a home run. A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2. Bucky Dent has just hit his 5th home run of the year into the screen. And look at that Yankee bench.
Unbelievable moment in baseball history. Right up there with Bobby Thompson. Bobby Thompson was a walk-off. This gave the Yankees the 3-2 lead. Then Reggie added a home run. The Red Sox stormed back, but as the Yankees had during the regular season, Lou Piniella made an unbelievable play in right field that could have changed the course of baseball history. And then Goose Gossage pitched all those innings in relief of Ron Guidry, and it was Yastrzemski at the plate against Gossage. He pops it up, foul territory. Greg Nettles makes the play, and the Yankees go on to the World Series where they beat the Dodgers. Is it that today? Well, it's about what's on the line. You are advancing or going home. Which team will advance? Which team will go home? 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Q in Newark. Q.
Mike,
hello,
what's going
Q.
on, man? How you doing? What's going on? How you doing today?
Great. How about you?
I'm all right. Hanging in there. My thing, what I wanted to ask you about is when Cruz's reaction last night after Story took him to the warning track and how he reacted to the out in that moment. Who in the everyday lineup is that guy, if we have that guy? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're not, you're right, Q. They're not a very demonstrative team. I mean, probably the most demonstrative players are Rosario and Caballero, and they're not everyday players. I guess the closest would be Jazz. Otherwise, they're a very conservative, business-like team. Bellinger's not like that. Grisham's not like that. Judge is not like that. McMahon, Volpe. Ben Rice has a little fire in him. Wells has a little fire in him, but there are very few people that are like Fernando Cruz. This is a kid who grew up a Yankee fan, dreamed about being a Yankee. They got him in a deal with the Reds that sent Jose Trevino to Cincinnati, and he's pitching his dream. And it's funny, you read social media and people are jumping on him for reacting that way. How would you react if you were in a playoff game for the team that you dreamed about pitching for and you got the final out? He came into a first and second, nobody out jam in the seventh inning. And although there was trouble and a great play by Jazz saved a run, he got the final out without allowing a run. Of course you're going to be happy. Let's go to Louis in Southern California. Louis.
Yes, Michael, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. How many runs you give? Cam has his problems in the first. Usually, to me, it's the first inning. How many runs will they let him go before they remove him, if that happens?
I think the leash will be very short, Louis. I mean, they can't allow anybody to give up more than 2 runs. So I think both starters are going to be incredibly short leashes. This is the season. There's no net. You fall and it's it. You can't say, tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. I know that's a cliche. There's no tomorrow. So the leash has to be extremely short for both starters. You saw how short it was yesterday, and it wasn't a do-or-die game for the Red Sox. He took out a starter who was a pretty reliable starter for him and took him out with 1 out in the 3rd inning. So if you see 3 batters get on, the bullpen's going to be up. Now, how he deploys the bullpen, whether he goes to Blackburn or whether he goes to Warren, that's going to be up to him and how he thinks the matchups work. But I want to warn everybody, these are kids they're sending out today. Both teams in a do-or-die game are sending out children. That's it. Let's go to Artie in Fairlawn.
Michael, honored to talk to you a long time, buddy. Listen, I'm pumped up for this game, but my problem was last night, or actually game 1, every 2-strike pitch the crowd was up. Last night it was 3-3, and they keep showing the cameras, and people are like biting their nails. Nervous. Let's go. You got to fire them up. The crowd was dead last night when it was only 3-3. Let's go. Anybody going to the game, got to get positive, baby. Let's go Yankees.
Well, thank you for the phone call, but you know what? It's easy to say when the season's on the line, you're going to be nervous. Close games get crowds nervous. They didn't seem that quiet when Jazz Chisholm Jr. scored the run. They didn't seem that quiet. Of course, it's tension. You are going to bite your nails. You're going to see those shots of fans in the crowd praying, their hands clasped together under their chin. That's what it's going to be. You could say, let's get the team fired up. Well, the team has to get the crowd fired up. 3-3, In the 8th inning, you're nervous. You're thinking about your season ending. Let's go to Jason in New Jersey. Jason.
Hey, Michael. How's it going? Thanks for taking my call.
You got it. What's up, man?
Going back to just quickly on the last caller, it's exactly what it was. I was at the game last night. It's all nerves. This isn't football, where the time is you're cheering the defense on the whole time, trying to get the crowd into it. It was just all nerves.
Of course.
That's what playoff baseball is.
Yep.
But to my question to you is, I don't know if you brought this up before. Sorry if you did. What are they going to do with the lineup tonight between first base and catcher, to me, is what I see, because I'm expecting Boston to deploy 3 lefties immediately out of the bullpen with Kyle Harrison and Peyton Tall coming out of the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's pretty obvious Ben Rice has to be in the lineup. I know they have all their analytical stuff. He needs to be in the lineup tonight. So is it a situation of, and we know Goldschmidt hit lefties well all year, do they sit Goldschmidt, play Ben Rice at first, or is there a chance Ben Rice is catching and Goldschmidt is playing first base and Wells is out of the equation?
It's a great question, Jason. And my gut feeling, okay, I don't think they'll catch Rice. I don't think that Rice has caught Schlittler this year, and Schlittler's actually pitched well with Rice behind the plate. But Austin Wells is starting to hit very well, and he's caught 2 very good games. So I think Wells is going to be behind the plate. The big decision, and Jazz Chisholm Jr. is definitely starting at second. The big decision is, do you go to Rice or do you go to Goldschmidt? And as you said, Goldschmidt's a 350 hitter against left-handed pitching. But I think, I'm not sure, I think he's going to go with Rice. And then you'll see Goldschmidt if they bring in Chapman to close the game in the 9th inning. And Goldschmidt will come in probably in the 8th inning for defense, as he did yesterday. And that's going to be a tough decision for Aaron Boone, because you're not just sitting a veteran, but you're sitting a veteran who has great success against lefty pitching. I don't envy Aaron Boone and his staff making up a lineup today, because somebody is going to be upset. Somebody's going to be upset. Seems like Ben Rice was most amenable about being benched in Game 1. He said, I understood my role to come off the bench and get a big pinch hit, but he never came off the bench. Jazz Chisholm Jr. reacted a little bit more, you could even say petulantly, but he didn't let it affect him in Game 2. And my complaint was not about Rice not playing the first game. It was about Chisholm. Chisholm's an everyday player. He should have been in there. And you could see the way he reacted. He thought he should be in there, but he contributed yesterday with a great play in the field, and then that 9.16 second run that might have saved the Yankee season. So, according to how Boone makes his lineup up, also dictates the way Cora deploys his bullpen. So maybe if he starts Goldschmidt, when Goldschmidt comes up, that's when he brings in a righty out of the bullpen. It's a game right now of 4-dimensional chess. Everything is going into the thought process on how to do this. I hope we're still on the air when the lineups come out. I hope we are. Not sure we will be. Let's go to Jacob in Bethlehem. Jacob.
Hey, how you doing, Michael? Thank you for taking my call, sir.
You got it. What's up, man?
Hey, I had a question here. I was having a conversation with my buddies yesterday. I told him, crazy thought, but and I wouldn't put it by Cora to potentially pitch Crochet today for an inning or two. Do you think that's a possibility?
I would think it's a possibility. I mean, Crochet's mindset, he threw a lot of pitches on Monday. So it's not just would he be willing to pitch, but, how much would he be able to come close to the pitcher that he is? If they think that he is, would they have him come in and pitch an inning? Sure. Remember in 2001, Randy Johnson came in without a day off and pitched. He started Game 6 and came in Game 7. Now, that was the World Series. That was the last game of the year. You had all winter the rest. If you deploy Crochet that way, when can you use him in the DS? Probably in Game 3. I don't think Fried would be used today. I think that Bayo could be used today. I mean, he only threw 28 pitches, I think, yesterday. So Bayo could be used. It's fascinating. That's why you love winner-take-all games. You love them because everything's on the line. You have to manage because there is no tomorrow. And the tricky part is the team that wins, there is a tomorrow. It's on Saturday. So you can't completely blow your whole team out either. But the team that loses, there is no tomorrow, so there's not any sense in saving anybody. So you've got to operate like this. I got to win this game. I'll worry about Saturday on Saturday because that's game one of the ALDS. It starts at 4 o'clock in Toronto. That's game one. So you're going to have Friday off. You worry about tonight. You can't even think about game one. You can't even think about it. And I would think that if the Yankees end up winning this game, game one might be started by Luis Gil. Because Fried pitched on Tuesday. That's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, he can't pitch on 3 days rest. He'll start game two on normal rest. So nobody else will be available other than Warren and Gil. Who does you go with? But again, that's Saturday. You have to worry just about today. That's the only thing on your mind. No planning forward, planning now. Win tonight. Live to tell the story on Saturday about how you're going to make it work. A lot of football news out there, too, which is taking a back seat, especially here in New York because of the Yankees. And we'll talk to Dan Orlovsky about what's going on with Jaxson Dart and the Jet offense, which didn't look that great until the fourth quarter on Monday night. All of it coming up in just a moment right here. You're watching us on the ESPN New York YouTube page, and you're listening on ESPN New York.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
For appliances, TVs, electronics, and mattresses, get to PC Richard & Son. Family owned and operated for 116 years.
Did you know women account for 2/3 of all Americans living with Alzheimer's and 2/3 of all Alzheimer's family caregivers? Join the Alzheimer's Foundation of America at its Women Empowerment Forum on November 5th in Amityville to learn practical ways women can reduce their risk for Alzheimer's and enhance quality of life for themselves and their loved ones living with Alzheimer's. For more information or to register, visit alzfdn.org or call 866-232-8484.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters, but those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. Is it the driver behind the wheel? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Welcome back to the show. It's been all baseball. Let's talk a little football now with our good friend Dan Orlovsky. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, bud. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing very, very well. Let's start off with Jaxson Dart. I'm sure you've studied the whole performance. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought he was incredibly impressive just from the reality that the moment in the game never looked overwhelming. It never looked too fast. It never looked too big for him. I feel that's a very good start. I think the second thing was that as far as the play on the field, I wasn't surprised with the athleticism and or the running. That is certainly a strength of his game. I think the two things that I was pleasantly surprised with was, one, he was really good at getting through some reads and progressions. And that was a thing that a lot of people that I disagreed with coming out with school was everyone was like, he's a one-read guy, or he knows where the ball's supposed to go because of the offense that he played with in college. There's a couple of times where he gets to the second or third read and specifically over the middle of the field. So really like that. I think probably my favorite part was, for obviously an unexperienced and young player, when there was some pressure or pocket movement, he went up. It wasn't this bailing going backwards, and we see that a lot with young kids. And so the fact that he was going up and aggressive in how he was climbing the pocket was really good. And so I thought he threw it well. Again, not surprised by that. Obviously, energy, no huddle. I think overall, very encouraged by game one.
Did you feel in studying the tape that they dumbed it down for him, or did they have the full package?
No, I mean, they dumbed it down. There are certainly plays that they ran that are, easier in execution, or at least simpler when it comes to execution. Some of their RPO and or PRO stuff. So, one read, take off and run type stuff. But that's going to be a part of their offense that he's going to operate. So certainly simplified in some aspects, cut off the fat in some aspects. And then I thought there was more creativity attached to it, and that's a little bit what we were all hoping for. And there's a little bit of the reality that his athleticism promoted that, which is something that I was looking forward to. So, he's not going to manage and operate a lot of protections right now and or coordinate that. I think that's something that he grows into, but they definitely, in the no-huddle world, allowed him to play fast.
All right, so from a layman's point of view, one thing that gets me nervous with him, I think he has the mindset of Cam Schlittler, where he just lowers his shoulder. I mean, is he going to get hurt playing like that, Dan?
Yes. I mean, he runs like Jalen Hurts. He's a bull in a china shop type of thing. And so, I think we have the empirical data and the evidence and a lot of experience to say, hey, quarterbacks really in a position, but quarterbacks, if you run like this too often, you're going to get yourself beat up. And so, I think it's the watching back the tape with him, I'm sure, and sitting there going situationally, if it's first down and you take off and you run and you have gotten a first down and, you see two or three defenders converging on you, let's not take that hit. I don't need you to prove to me anymore that you're tough. If it's 3rd and 5 and you make a cut and you get contact and you're a yard short of that first down, like, yeah, then I want you to use your physical presentation to go help us get that first down. So I think it's that process. And, this young man comes from a place where, like, he was often as kind of physical as a lot of other guys, and even in the SEC. And so I'm not overly concerned about that, because I think that's stuff that you just learn the more and more you become experienced doing it.
All right, so his progression as a quarterback, how much was that set back, Dan, by the awful injury to Malik?
Yeah, significantly. Not only his progression, but his performance, and what the expectations should be. If you had told me that they were going to have Malik and Malik was healthy, I would sit here and glass half full, sit here and go, they could have some success, because the offense would only continue to expand. But because of the Malik injury, now you're trying to build a pass game. And when you're building pass games, you're trying to find your 1, 2, 3 best players to be the primary people of those pass game and or pass concepts. Not having Malik there, it's now you're building a pass game. And is it a Darius Slayton is the number one guy? And if that number one guy's not there, then it's a Wandale or a Theo. And so, yeah, it's significant. As a quarterback, Malik's one of those guys that he lets you turn your brain off. I could throw to Malik. What's the coverage? Oh, it's single high safety. Where's Malik? And so I think there was a comfort and a confidence level in that was certainly going to be taking a pretty significant hit now that dynamic player won't be there.
Well, we were all watching you do Monday Night Football, and the whole station was together watching, and we felt for you. I mean, because that game was awful. And what did you see from the Jets, Dan? I mean, all they do is preach, discipline and stuff like that. 6 pre-snap penalties, 13 penalties, 101 yards. I mean, you can't win like that, Dan.
Yeah, I was disappointed in how they played, and probably even more so coming off of spending some time with them. I always say this: you have the opportunity to sit with these coaches and players and talk to them, and you're making some, I guess, judgments on those meetings and your interactions with those guys. And walking out of those meetings, and specifically the meeting with Aaron Glenn, I was like, man, very impressed. And you're encouraging, you're going, that's the guy to try to get this on the right track over the long haul. And watching the game and the self-inflicting wounds and the kind of self-destruction, it was so contrast to what was being shared with us and what kind of was the belief in the philosophy. And so that was the most disappointing part. And then also, and I talked to Coach Glenn about this, being the defensive guy, some of the lack of communication on their back end, and I call them blown coverages, and maybe they're not schematic blown coverages, but man coverage, you get constantly getting picked, or the poor tackling. Those are a lot of controllable things. And so I was surprised by how poorly that part of it kind of presented itself. And so they obviously have a lot to clean up, and there's a lot of room for them to get better. And in their words, they were like, we will start winning when we stop stupid. And that, and try not to be a jerk, but a lot of the stuff they did was just stupid football.
Mm-hmm. Now, it seems their plan, though, Dan, is to run some more. Oh, okay, that's safe. He's a disciple of Parcells, but no, the best player on the team is Garrett Wilson. You're essentially neutering him if all you're going to do is run.
Yeah, no bigger fan that attached to the NFL than Garrett Wilson. I thought Garrett Wilson should be the first pick of the draft when he was coming out of school. So I love the young man. I think he's absolutely sensational, and I believe that walking out of that game, outside of the obviously penalty and turnovers, it's like you don't throw the ball to Garrett enough. And so I'm with you. I think that there's a reality of who they are, who they want to be, who they are as a team that believes their offensive lines is the strength of their football team. I would agree with that. Who they want to be is a team that is efficient and explosive. And, I don't know if they think that they have the capability of being explosive to the level that they want to right now, but I do believe that they are not throwing him the football enough. I'm of the camp that Garrett should probably get 12 targets a game. Game flow always dictates part of that and whatnot reality, but We said on the broadcast right before the touchdown cast, they all out pressured him. I was like, Justin has to throw that ball to Garrett in that situation. They run the same exact route on the same exact coverage versus the next play, and it's a touchdown. So, it's a philosophical thing, but at the end of the day, surely he's a guy that needs the football more.
And one final thing before I let you go, we're talking to Dan Orlovsky here on the Michael Kay Show. It's such a bad optic what Shedeur Sanders did, answering the questions without saying words. And what's he doing? Who's giving him this advice? It's bad advice, in my opinion. What's your take on it?
Yeah, so this doesn't have to be anybody personally attacking Shedeur Sanders, right? And I don't think doing it, nor I don't think anybody. Rex had his comments and whatnot. My thought is this: number one, at that position, and I don't care your ranking, you're always interviewing for the job, always, specifically in that league. Did his comments or the way that he handled that 30 or 40 seconds, did it help himself in his own building? Is there going to be people in that building that go, hey, he's really starting to mature and get this, and he's going to earn his opportunity? Or is there somebody outside of that building on one of those other 31 teams, a president, a GM, a decision maker, a front office guy's like, hey man, like that person should be in our building because we'll be a better building and organization because of it. There's no way that anyone's going to say that. And Michael, I was a backup my whole career, 99% of it. So I understand that, and it's just like, I'm not sitting here killing the man and this is not going to be the end of the story. I'm just saying, like, you're either proving that you provide value or you're not. And I think that he's going to look back and be like, yeah, that probably wasn't that necessary.
And then when you see him act like that, that probably came through in all the interviews that he did. And then you kind of understand why a guy with some physical talent dropped as far as he did. Because if GMs and coaches are going to see that kind of immaturity, I don't think they want to make you their quarterback.
Yeah, the number one rule on Bill Parcells' quarterback commandments is never respond to outside noise. Never respond to external criticism. And I know the quarterback position has changed over the past, few years, and some of the at least attributes maybe aren't necessarily like staples. But if you look at those Bill Parcells 11 commandments, man, and you look at the top players at that position over the last 6, 7, 8 years, a lot of them are very true to those guys. And I just think if that's the number one thing, and if you want to be a guy in that league, Jalen Hurts has been dragged in the media over the last 3 years. He don't say anything. Dak Prescott's been dragged in the media over the last 3 years. He don't say anything. I think there's a lot that can be learned by Shedeur from that moment.
Great stuff, Dan. Thank you so much as always.
Yes, sir.
That's Dan Orlovsky. We'll come back. We'll take more phone calls on tonight's baseball game. We have Chris Simms coming up at 2 o'clock as well. Fastest 2 hours in sports. I'm telling you, fastest 2. It goes by in an eye blink. Catch it while you can, right here on ESPN New York.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Jazz, Chisholm, and Ben Rice were back in the lineup last night and were big contributors in the Yankees' Game 2 win.
What a game. It's been 2 great games. A lot of big plays on both sides. A homer by Benny to get us rolling. And then, the bullpen closing it down after Roto gave us enough there.
Will they take Game 3 tonight to advance? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer, continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE BACK.
They call me The Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Holding. Defense. The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Paying extra for tire care is BS. You know, bad service. So at Midas, we're rolling out our BS-free tire guarantee, included with paid installation and tax on every purchase. You'll pay nothing for flat replacements, nada for flat repairs, and zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles. That's $0 for all that. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the BS-free tire guarantee, only at Midas.
From the regular season to the Super Bowl, ESPN New York is your destination for football. We've got crazy fans.
If the Giants somehow beat the Cowboys, I'm going to take a dump on your head.
You can feel good because you're a damn football team.
Expert analysis.
Marcus Spears joins us now. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Hall of Famer Steve Young.
He's kind of our resident general manager, Louis Riddick.
We got Mike Tannenbaum right now.
And all your fantasy and wagering needs. This is ESPN New York. We are football.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Just to continue on with the Shedeur Sanders stuff, I really believe that a lot of people in the football analyzing business, and I thought that Dan Orlovsky was very honest, but I think a lot of them kind of pull their punches when it comes to things that Shedeur does because they're afraid of Deion, because Deion has a huge platform and could just annihilate you if you say something about his kid that he doesn't like, which any dad should do. But what Shedeur Sanders did the other day made him look like a fool. Made him look like a fool. And he got that big goofy grin like he's being so clever and original by like not mouthing the words. He's reacting to something that Rex Ryan said? A talking head on ESPN That's what he's reacting to? They benched Joe Flacco. You know what? They probably never even considered Shedeur Sanders. You see a stunt like what Shedeur Sanders pulled, and you understand why he dropped to the bottom of the draft. Who wants that in the building? Somebody acting like that. That's immaturity. And the thing that really was so frustrating was he thought it was so clever. You could see it on the look on his face like he thought, oh, man, I'm getting over. This is so good. No. You made yourself look awful. You made yourself look dumb. Very odd. Very, very odd. Yankees, Red Sox tonight, winner take all, Game 3, 47 years after the one-game playoff in 1978. The winner moves on to Toronto on Saturday to start the ALDS, and the loser goes home. The loser goes home. I'm going to tell you something that I've noticed just monitoring social media during games and after the games, because now I could look at it during games because I'm not broadcasting the games. We're watching in the studio, preparing for the post-game show. And our pregame show today will be at 7 on Yes, and then the post-game show following the final pitch will be 90 minutes on Yes. So once the game's over on ESPN, you turn over to Yes for the post-game show. Red Sox fans and Met fans, some Met fans, again, I always say some, they're lying in wait. Red Sox fans can't wait to attack the Yankees if they lose. They can't wait. You could see they're ready to pounce. You know, this team has finished last like 4 times in the last 7 years? But they are ready to really, really go after Yankees and the fans if they lose. And to the victors go the spoils. That's one thing. The Red Sox, if they beat the Yankees, they have the right to lord over them. They really do. The thing that I don't get is that Met fans, some Met fans, are just waiting, gleefully waiting to say, look, you lasted 3 more games than we did. Like, there's no difference between not making the playoffs and losing in the wild card. None. So my question to you would be, if you had a chance and you asked Sydney Sweeney out on a date and she turned you down, but then she said yes to another guy, and they went out on 3 dates and it didn't work out, what guy had it better? The guy who got the 3 dates with Sydney Sweeney or the one that got shot down right away? I mean, Met fans, for the most part, what I would say, you really should pipe down about, oh, look, it's only 3 more games than we played. We're waiting for you in Cancun. Yeah, and your ballpark for the last 3 days is a Spirit Halloween. While the Yankees are pouring about 50,000 people a game into their stadium for the wild card. Do they want to win? Of course they do. And if they lose, the season would be a failure. But what's more of a failure? Adding one of the best players in baseball history to a team and not making the playoffs, or subtracting one of the best players in baseball history and making the playoffs? So I know that Met fans are going to try to change the narrative, some Met fans, and say, oh, you didn't even last that much longer. It's just one series. One series is better than none. One series is better than none. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Daniel in L.A. Daniel.
Yeah, Michael, I'm with you on that. I don't know why all these Met fans want to be the tallest man in a midget competition. So I don't know about that. But I just want to say, I think the Yankees got super lucky yesterday. I mean, every single ball bounced in their direction. That fly ball to Duran, I don't know how that scored a hit. If I'm an MLB player, I just fall down every time I make a bad play because they'll just give him a hit. I mean, that's got to be an error. And the other thing is that Wells ball, I actually think if it goes all the way to the corner, I don't think Chisholm scores.
Oh, I think he does.
I think the way that it bounced, that allowed him to score. So I haven't seen in a long time the Yankees get that lucky in a game. And I think for them to win, they got to hit the ball out of the park. And I know it's not fair to judge because he's had a good series, but he's got a mash. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I've heard that narrative a lot, Daniel. You're going to rip the guy because he's gotten 6 singles or however many times? I mean, you got to be able to get a ball that you could hit out of the ballpark. I could see if he was doing 0. Yeah, you'd like him to hit home runs, but they've split the first 2 games with him just getting on base and getting hits. And I'm glad that Daniel brought up the play with Duran. That's got to be caught. I think Jack Curry looked it up. Catch probability 75%. I don't even believe that. to me, the catch probability is 100%. You have to catch that ball. Even Duran said he had to catch that ball. Now, how it scored a hit is beyond me. I mean, the ball's in his glove. But that's beside the point. The Red Sox did make mistakes, and I disagree with Daniel. The ball goes into the down the line and into the corner. Jazz scores easily. Probably doesn't even have to slide. The fact that it kicked out, I think that's what made it close. So, yeah, I disagree with him on that. Let's go to Jimmy in Connecticut. Jimmy.
Hey, what's going on, Michael? Big game night, really excited. There is a way that you could start Goldie and Rice in line tonight. It's not going to be popular, and I don't think the Yankees would do it, but just hear me out on this. Goldie at first, Rice can DH, and Stanton can pinch hit for either of them. I love playoff G, but he is 0 for 8 in the series. And listen, the analytics people will tell you he has to be in lineup. I'm sure that's why they won't do it. But they admit that the postseason is a crapshoot, especially a short series. Aren't you basically admitting that your analytics don't matter at that point? Like, you have to go with what's working out. I know the way the Yankees think, but I know they won't do it, but I want to hear if you think there's any logic to that.
I mean, is there logic to it? Yeah, I mean, you're giving me your logic, so I'm not going to insult you by saying it's not logical, but I wouldn't do it. I mean, yeah, he looked bad. Stanton does not look like playoff G at all. He looks out in front. He's swinging through pitches, but he can get hot at any moment. That's the life of Giancarlo Stanton. He could look lost one day, and he could look locked in the next. So no, I'm not taking him out, especially against a lefty. So you're actually proposing sitting a right-handed slugger against a young left-handed starter? It doesn't make sense to me. I think the guy's going to be left on the outside looking in as Goldschmidt, and he'll have his chance to contribute pinch hitting against Chapman or playing defense in the 8th or the 9th inning. Ben Rice has played his way into consideration to play every single game. He's made life really tough for Boone in terms of making out a lineup. He's made it easy for Boone because he's become such a force. I think he's hit 400 since the middle of September. It's been great. It's been great all year. That's why I think he probably gets to start at first. Now, you are gambling a little bit because he's not near the defender that Goldschmidt is, not near it. So you lose something there. But if you start Goldschmidt and then they bring in a right-hander in the 4th inning, it's a big moment, or a left-hander in the 4th inning, or a right-hander in the 4th inning in a big moment, then you're going to pinch hit Rice, and then you're committing to bad defense in the 8th and 9th inning of what could be a close game. I don't think that's the way to go. I think the way to go is to hold Goldschmidt back. We told you it's the 47th anniversary of Bucky Dent's home run. And my good buddy and, yes, colleague Justin Shackle reached out to Bucky Dent. And this is what Bucky Dent said about today's game. Pressure makes legends. Yankee fans, keep the faith. And to the boys in pinstripes, step up and write your moment tonight. Who's going to write their moment tonight? We'll continue to break it down. We'll come back. We got a lot of stuff to do. I do want to remind you about Tullamore Dew. Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. At 8:20 or 8 p.m., Yankees host the Red Sox for decisive Game 3 of their Wildcard series in the Bronx. Play-by-play can be heard right here on ESPN New York and watched on ESPN. And then the pregame show will be at 7 on Yes, and the postgame show following the final pitch will also be on Yes. 3 p.m., the Tigers are in Cleveland to play the Guardians on 1050 ESPN and also on ABC7. And at 5 p.m., the Padres are in Chicago, play the Cubs on 1050 ESPN and ESPN TV. The Dodgers swept the Reds 2-0, so they will play the Phillies in the first NLDS, and that should be a great, great series. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Chris Simms of NBC joins us in just a moment. Stick around for that right here on ESPN New York.
At PC Richard & Son, we don't just sell you a washer with 12 buttons. We tell you what they all do. Which one saves you water, which one keeps your favorite sweater looking brand new, and which one gets out those mysterious grass stains. Because service isn't just selling you a washer, it's making sure it works for you. Great service, great savings, plus free delivery. It's kind of our thing. During our 116th birthday sale, get up to $1,000 in additional savings when you combine purchases of select appliances, TVs, and mattresses. PC Richard & Son. Free delivery excludes Manhattan.
Put him in the box. This is your radio home for New York Mets baseball. 880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Jets football once again returns to MetLife Stadium. See your New York Jets face off against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, October 5th at 1 p.m., presented by Atlantic Health System.
Play action, bootleg out to the right, Justin Fields, and he will trot into the end zone with a misdirection touchdown.
Get your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
There's nothing the voice in our head obsesses over like our health. But with over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help answer the questions like, why am I so tired all the time? How can I get better sleep? My friend was telling me about magnesium gummies she takes. How do I even know if my heart is work stress affected? It's time to up my cardio. If my mom has something, how would I find out? It's time to get some blood work done. A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Your fantasy roster is set, the Smack Talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sportsbook for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook, download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Dive into the Marvel Universe on the official Marvel Podcast with the stars of the MCU.
Everybody's going to be talking about whether we're casting for this character.
The creators of Marvel Comics.
Spider-Man is the greatest fictional character in history.
And Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige.
But if you want the real answer, if we're trying to get real on this podcast,
giving you exclusive access to Marvel's adventures like never before. The official Marvel Podcast. New episodes every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Talking about the Yankees and the Red Sox Game 3 tonight at the stadium, but also fitting in some football because we got another big football weekend coming up here in New York and for the NFL as well. And we love talking to Chris Simms every Thursday at this time. You could see him on NBC and college coverage and also before, during, and after the Sunday Night Football game on NBC. And Chris joins us now. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Michael. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Are you going to be nervous tonight with the Yankees Red Sox? I know you're a Yankee fan.
I am. I'm going to be a little nervous. I mean, listen, there's a part of me here. Of course, I'm rooting for the Yankees. I want them to beat the Red Sox. I'm sick of Boston sports. At the same time, am I a little bit like, do I really think we can win the World Series this year? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much longer I want to keep this regime that's in control of the Yankees up there either. So I'm a little in turmoil there as far as that's concerned.
Well, the regime's not changing, so you might as well root for them to win.
All right, damn it. Okay, Michael. Okay, fine.
All right, so let's talk about Jaxson Dart. I know you had the interview with him on Sunday. Obviously, he's got to feel good about things. I'm sure you've looked closely at the tape. What did you see? What do you feel about his first performance as a starter?
Well, I mean, you got to be encouraged by it. I mean, first off, you saw the team kind of feeds off of him a little bit, and I don't think anybody you talk to, I mean, you know, the whole stadium seemed like it had more energy. As soon as you turn the game on TV, it felt like the team did, the stadium, all of that. You know, the passing game, there's nothing to write home about. It was efficient. He didn't make any big mistakes. I think that's the big thing there. And we know that was a really awesome Chargers secondary who makes things hard on you. I still continue to be amazed by his legs and what he could do there, right? But they're going to need to do more here in the passing game to win this week or be better offensively altogether. And I think this is a tough task. I think the Saints really match up well with the New York Giants. So for people that think they're just going to go down there and win one now because we won one against the Chargers at home, not so fast. This will be tough. The Saints really run the ball well. Our Giants defense does not stop the run all that well. I think they'll be able to protect against our pass rush a little bit that way. The Saints, I think, are a little better than people realize. I think it's to be a nail-biter, and I actually picked the Saints to beat them 19-17.
Or have they pared down the offense so he's not going out there with a full package of plays?
I don't think it's it's hard to tell what their offense is because I feel like it was pared down and wasn't going into a full package of plays with Russell Wilson. So that was limited, and you could tell it was curtailed to what he does well. So that's where I go, give me another week or two to get a little bit more feel for what it is. But I thought the Giants moving Abdul Carter out to defensive end and running him rush from the outside was a big difference for their team last week. And I also think they played a style in which they went, hey, we think our defense can maybe give Justin Herbert and the Chargers a tough time here. Let's not take too many chances, and let's play a little bit more conservative. So I got to see more to know what they're going to totally do here with the Jaxson Dart offense.
All right, so you're watching football this week. You see Malik Neighbors go down. On Monday, you see Tyreek Hill go down. And I'm just wondering, because you've seen it from both sides. You're a kid watching your dad play. Then you played as well. How scary is it playing in the NFL knowing that at any moment one play could essentially end your career, certainly your season?
Yeah, it's the toughest thing about the sport. It's an awesome sport. It teaches you so many lessons in life and camaraderie, and there's nothing that can beat, being out there on the field like a bunch of gladiators with 70,000 people around, and it's hard to even tell you the emotions and the addiction that the sport can give you. You try to block that type of stuff out, right? I think most football players are, kind of crazy to begin with. You know that. They're pedal to the metal type of guys, the type of guys that are, pretty fearless and just about everything in life. But that's always lurking in the back of your head, and you just hope it doesn't strike with you. And, of course, it struck with me, losing my spleen and all that. Yeah. But at the same time, I think it's the price of doing business. I never thought when I was playing, Ray Lewis and Julius Peppers crushing me in the pocket was good for my overall health. I knew what I signed up for. So it's part of the sport. It's unfortunate. The unfortunate thing I think right now, Michael K., is we're seeing it more and more. Yeah. That's what I don't like. And that's, to me, where the NFLPA is doing a disservice to the players. All these rules of lack of practice, lack of training camp. The players are not in game shape when the year starts. So that, to me, is a big problem, and I think that's why you see such an uptick in injuries, especially in September over the last 2 years.
I remember I used to ask Al Leiter about pitching and saying, when you finish delivering your pitch, you're about 50 feet from home plate, and there's a guy like Giancarlo Stanton. Do you worry about getting hit in the face? And he said, it's there, but you almost have to block it out.
Right.
Chris, is that almost, when you go out there like that, is that almost like a little sliver of insanity that you have to convince yourself it's not going to happen to me?
Definitely. I think it's sometimes like when you see the Tyreek Hill injury happen the other night, people just stay away and they kind of turn their heads on the field.
Yeah, I did. Like, I didn't want to see the replay.
Right. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the emotions he's going through. I still got to play this game, and I'm trying to block that out. I don't want to think about that could happen to me. And so, there is a part of it. And I think, coaches and football players for the most part, are crazy or psycho in a good way. And that's what makes the sport awesome, but it's a brutal sport. And here's one other thing I'll just say, because I've been on this for a long time. The artificial surfaces got to go. They got to go. I know Tyreek Hill's happened on grass. It was a little different. But with all these injuries we're seeing, like Malik Neighbors, that was from the artificial turf, that period. We see that more and more. The concussions with people their heads hitting the ground on the whiplash. It's more apt to happen on the field turf. It's disgusting that our NFL owners and stadiums and sports are going to let the World Cup come in and all play on soccer, but here we are as Americans. They're like, nah, screw you. Play on the bad stuff. Deal with it. That, to me, is so wrong by the NFL.
So we're talking with Chris Simms here on the Michael K. Show. I'm watching, I try to watch as many games as I can over the first 4 weeks of the season. And I got to tell you, Chris, the play is sloppy. There's so many penalties.
Yeah.
Is that almost an offshoot of what you just said about players getting ready and not being in shape to not getting injured? Because, Steve Young always tells me you're not going to see real football about 8 weeks into the season. This is all preseason. Do you agree that there's not enough practice time and not enough games?
Totally not enough. Let alone coaches now are so scared of being dragged if they play their players in the preseason and one of the good players get hurt that we're not only do we not have enough time to practice, we don't even get out there to practice the practice games anymore.
Right.
And so that leads into, teams not looking good, clicking on all cylinders, still finding their way a little bit through the month of September. And also, like you talked about, the body's just not ready for 4 quarters of football shape. It hasn't been hardened. It hasn't been calloused by what training camp used to be. I know I sound like Mr. Old Man now, where I'm like, back in my day. But back in my day, I mean, we would go the first 14 days of training camp in 2-a-days, right? And maybe be in full pads like more than half those practices for sure. But I think between that and then, yes, people may be overdoing it with the foam rollers before they go out in the game and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that are, contributing to what we're seeing right now.
All right, and last week when we spoke to you on Thursday, we talked about how that was a big game on Monday for the Jets in order for them to continue to preach about the culture they want. I mean, How do you continue to preach when you 13 penalties, 6 of them pre-snap? Yep. I thought they looked awful for 3 quarters, Chris, and then they kind of woke up in the fourth too little too late. What do you see with the Jets? What's going on there?
Yeah, it is sloppy. I'll still sit here and tell you that I think Aaron Glenn needs to be the D coordinator. I think the other thing you look at, the game has to be played a certain way for them to be competitive, right? I think that's what we're seeing. If they can run the ball like they did on that first drive before Braylon Allen fumbled, and then they can kind of control the clock and eat up the clock and play that style of football, okay, yeah, they might be competitive. But is that realistic to be like that on a week-in, week-out basis? No. I mean, you just said right. I mean, is the passing game capable of helping out their team in the competitive part of the football game? Or is it just going to be late-game bullcrap stats every week? So I think those are things I question. And then, the defense certainly – I know it doesn't have all the personnel. They probably want bigger people, this Aaron Glenn and his coaching staff. That's what they had in Detroit. This defense is predicated more on speed with that Seattle scheme and Saleh. But I'm still disappointed. There's still better talent than what they're putting out there for the results. And you're seeing that Sauce Gardner, he's adjusting to, oh, wait, this is what man-to-man coverage is all about? Yeah, he's got to stop holding. I mean, so there's a lot of issues there. But the penalties and the self-inflicted wounds are just absolutely crazy right now, Michael.
Do they, in your opinion, Chris, do they not throw the ball a lot because they love the offensive line and their running game? Or do they think that Justin Fields can't throw? Because by him not throwing as much as he should, you're neutering the best player on your team in Garrett Wilson. So what's behind the decision? The first 3 quarters, all they did was run.
Right. I think you said it right. That would be my take, that, they want to run the ball and that they know he's limited in some of the things he can do as a passer. There's a reason this is his 3rd team in 3 years. And I think they're trying to hope or will that to come along, but I don't know if it's gonna. There's been a number of teams that have all sat there and hoped and willed. The Bears and the Steelers, they wanted to. So, I think it's a little bit of both of what you're saying there, and it does. It stinks for Garrett Wilson because he is the biggest playmaker on your offense, and he's stuck in an offense that really doesn't know how to utilize a number 1 star receiver and put him in positions to make the explosive plays he's capable of making.
All right, so we have Paul Feinbaum on Tuesdays, and he talked about, I asked him, well, the Jets could have a really bad record, and they're going to need a quarterback. So I know you cover college football as well, and he didn't really have a good answer for who's the best quarterback out there. He says it's not Arch Manning anymore. So who is the best college quarterback out there?
Oh, it is a good question. Well, all right. So the guy that catches my eye more than anybody was the Oklahoma kid, but he got hurt, John Mateer. right? He catches my eye in a big-time way. Now, he still has another year of eligibility. The kid down at LSU, Nussmeier, he's playing hurt right now. He's another guy that I think has got some big-time talent and can do some things there. But I think he's got an oblique injury, so he's not really capable of maybe showing what he truly has. I think it's up for debate right now. I don't think there's any slam dunk one, and I need to study more of them to really give you a feel of that. But, yeah, I mean, the Arch Manning thing is way out of the window. I mean, I've gotten on some of my NFL scout friends who are like, oh, he's definitely the number one pick. And I'm like, you mean 171 or 1? What are you talking about? I mean, he's not there yet. He is throwing the ball so badly, it's disappointing that way. So he's got to get that figured out. But, yeah, I think it's up for debate right now. I think there's some guys still we need to see, and I feel like I'm probably missing somebody that I'm not recalling off the top of my head. But, the Oregon kid has that type of potential, but I still think he's young and would benefit from another year in college football.
And Klubnik has been a disappointment.
Definitely. Klubnik is a disappointment. I never really saw top-end first-round talent from him anyways. I think the guy that's impressed me a lot, and we'll see if he continues to rise here, is the kid from Alabama. Ty Simpson has been phenomenal. He catches my eye as being that type of guy as well. But, yeah, I don't know if there is a slam dunk, like, oh, my gosh, number one pick of the draft type of guy like I basically felt with Cam Ward after 4 weeks last year.
All right, so this is an outside-the-box question with the NFL. Sometimes when the Cowboys are playing, they could be on the minus 35 side of the field, and you hear people go, well, another 10 yards and they're in field goal position. Is the kicking too good that it's kind of eliminating offense out of the game?
Well, I don't think it has gotten extremely good, and it's changed the dynamic of the game. Like you said, if you get the ball at the 35, you go, wait, if they get one completion, they can kick a field goal here and do that. I think the NFL likes that, though, because it's still points. The NFL wants points. They've made that apparent. The kicking ball, I think, has probably added another, yard or two for a lot of these kickers, and the fact that they can use a ball and inflate it to the maximum capabilities of the rules and then squeeze that ball and put the air in the middle of it, I think that's helped out. But, as a whole, we're seeing college NFL, just 50 yards is nothing. I mean, the record, I think, is going to get broken this year. You're going to see somebody make one from 67, 68, maybe 70. But I don't know if I feel like it's hurting offense. I don't know if I go that far.
Okay. I want to ask you about what we saw from Shedeur Sanders yesterday. Is he hurting himself by acting this way? I mean, seemingly so immature, Chris.
Yeah, definitely hurting himself. Definitely. He's got a lot of question marks around from people in the NFL. That's part of the reason he fell. Part of the reason he fell is because people feel like he, disrespected the process of the draft process. It didn't handle like a professional. It wasn't mature that way. So to do that yesterday, yes, if I was advising Shedeur Sanders, I'd go, well, why? Why would you do that? Why? You probably canceled out 5 teams from wanting you now who are like, oh, my gosh, he's just always going to be a handful, huh? It's always going to be something. So that's just right now, just be in the background and work. Your time can come here. So be ready for that time. But, yeah, I don't think he helps himself by saying, I think I'm better than one of the starters out there, or his mom going to social media and saying those type of things. I'm a little annoyed with everybody acting like they know more than what's going on in Cleveland. That's what annoys me. It's like, oh, yeah, Cleveland's deliberately screwing them over so they can screw themselves over. That's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, right. I mean, come on, everybody. First off, Dylan Gabriel impressed them. They were going to probably start Dylan Gabriel to start the season if he didn't get hurt during training camp. Shedeur Sanders did not impress on a daily basis in OTAs or training camp. He hasn't earned the right for them to trust him to be the backup yet. That might come, but all these people and armchair quarterbacks who think they know more than what the Browns have been seeing on an everyday basis, to me, is just crazy right now.
Also, why would the Browns waste a draft pick? I mean,
exactly.
why they would be cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Exactly right. And what we can argue why they draft him, right? I understand it. The value is there too, but then also, and I know the analytics say draft him, but I also want to go, the human analytics are, wait, is this going to be a distraction for our team? Is this all we're going to talk about? And the human analytics would go, yeah, right now it's a distraction for them. I mean, he gets talked about more than anybody on their team. They got one of the best defenses and one of the best defensive players in football. But I would say he dominates the headlines on a weekly basis. That can't be going over well in the locker room.
Right.
That like, hey, we're getting ready for a big game, and our third-string quarterback is in the headlines again, right? I don't know how guys that are veterans that are doing their work on the defensive side of the ball are going to love that. So, yeah, I just feel like he's approaching things a little bit the wrong way.
All right, final thing. We always seem like we're so quick to want to kill off a dynasty. And we pretty much drove the stake through the hearts of the Chiefs. But then the Chiefs do what they did last weekend. Are they, again, and remain a really good team that's a championship contender?
I don't know if I feel like championship contender. I don't know if I feel that this year. But do I feel like they can be still real competitive, of course, be in the playoffs and be dangerous when they come into your town in a playoff game? Yes. I do think they found something last week. They got into the short passing game, and that was something I had kind of been banging the table for in my podcast. Like, there's no silver lining, or they're not going to get better and run the ball. The only thing they can rely on is Mahomes. Let him have the ball, put him in shotgun, let him surgically destroy every defense. They kind of went to that mode last week. And to me, if you're a good offense or good at anything, you have to be elite at something, right? You got to do something elite to make the defense now change how they want to play, and it opens up other things in your offense. To me, what you'll see them do, and I think we're going to continue, is the short passing game. Teams are going to get sick of it. They're going to start to play aggressive, and that's when you'll see Xavier Worthy down the field and Rashee Rice when he gets back healthy. And, of course, Xavier Worthy does help their offense and takes a little pressure off of everything there.
Great stuff. Enjoy the Yankee game tonight and enjoy the football this weekend, man.
Thanks, man. You too. I'll talk to you. See you, buddy.
That's Chris Simms. Great. It's our quarterback Thursday. That's what it is. We have Orlovsky, you have Simms. Got great opinions from both of them. So I love Thursdays on the show. I love every day on the show because you guys make it easy. Now it's time for you guys to be the co-host. I know you've got a lot to talk about with the Yankees and the Red Sox tonight. Game 3. Winner take all, 47 years to the day when Bucky hit a home run to send the Yankees into the playoffs and then eventually to win the World Series against the Dodgers for the second straight year. Do the Yankees have that this season? Well, when I look at the American League, everybody, they're as good as any team in the American League. I'm sorry. Do you think that the Yankees are really scared about possibly facing the Blue Jays? And Blue Jays are outstanding, but the Yankees have a lot of outstanding parts of their team too. Seattle, Cleveland, Detroit. Who's the one that you say, well, the Yankees just can't get past them? Now, one quick thing, again, this is the old guy on the lawn. I'm sorry. And you know that I kind of talk every now and then about, oh boy, baseball celebrates every single level, right? The Dodgers beat the Reds. The Reds won 83 games. You celebrating like you beat the Yankees in the World Series last year? I mean, really, that's worthy of a celebration? I know it's a next step and you get to play the Phillies, and maybe I'm being a jerk, but I watched that celebration and go, you beat the Reds. Did anybody think the Reds were going to win one game in that series? You beat the Reds. The Reds are not ready for this. This is the first step on a journey to make themselves a real, legitimate contending team. They only got in because the Mets fell back to them, not because they overtook the Mets. And the Dodgers celebrate like, wow, they just won their second World Series in a row. You watch that series, though, and it does tell you the Dodger bullpen is not reliable. I think that series against the Phillies is going to be fascinating. And you almost get the feeling that the team that comes out of the National League might come out of that series. 1-800-919-3776. But I know you're concerned most about Yankees and the Red Sox. We'll break it down. Some of the things that I expect from Schlittler. I'm not sure what to expect from Early. I haven't seen him pitch yet. I've read everything about him. 29 strikeouts in 19 innings. That's impressive. And that's what it comes down to. 2 kids. 2 pitching for 2 legendary teams to move to the next round of the playoffs. Can't wait. Let's talk about it more when we get back. You're watching us on the ESPN New York YouTube channel and ESPN New York.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Jazz, Chisholm, and Ben Rice were back in the lineup last night and were big contributors in the Yankees' Game 2 win.
What a game. I mean, it's been two great games. You know, a lot of big plays on both sides. A homer by Benny to get us rolling. And then, you know, the bullpen closing it down after Roto gave us enough there.
Will they take Game 3 tonight to advance? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Listen up, New York. It's football season, and you should be out there enjoying every play, every tailgate, every moment. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. That's where Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain comes in. He's one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and dedicated to getting you back in the game. Here's the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided procedures that get real results. Dr. Shaw treats everything from neck pain, back pain, migraines, nerve pain, and chronic joint pain. And he builds a custom game plan that's right for you. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. And yes, most major insurances are accepted. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Go to SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight to get justice for the injured.
The hustle and grit of these streets shaped me. I'm John D'Agostino, and from the concrete to the courtroom, I built this injury firm 35 years ago to get accident victims justice. So call my team first, 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
You want justice? Think Jenna D'Agostino. Think D'Agostino & Associates. Justice isn't just a word. For us, it's a way of life. It's having compassion for your struggle and getting you paid for your pain. Now that's justice. D'Agostino & Associates means being there for the injured.
Seriously injured? Call my team first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Every aspect of your business will operate better and faster with artificial intelligence. AI is a race, and companies that act first will win. Thrive Managed AI is your advantage over all your competitors. Thrive partners with you on a smart, secure AI strategy for your business. Then they deploy and manage it for you. Be first and win the race with Thrive Managed AI. Start with a complimentary strategy consultation at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
All right, so Cam Schlittler gets an important start for the Yankees in getting to know the young man. He's very even-keeled. He's not too high, not too low, soft-spoken, and that's off the field. On the field, it doesn't seem like the emotions run too high. He seems very, very low-key on the mound. So I don't think the moment is going to be too big. Now, that's just a guess because he's never been in this moment. He's pitched some big games for the Yanks. He throws 99 miles an hour easily without any stress. He pounds the strike zone, although what I worry about in this game, usually there's an inning in there where he loses command. I don't know if it's arm slot, whatever the case may be, and then he's spraying pitches all over the place. That's troubling because one bad inning in a game like this could mean the end of your season. But I don't think he's going to be scared out there. He doesn't seem like that type. Do I know for sure? Of course not. No one knows for sure. He doesn't know for sure. Now, as for early, 7th ranked prospect for the Red Sox, but not in the top 100 in baseball. They called them a lot late because the Red Sox don't have starting pitching. They lost Giolito, who's supposed to start this game. Now, the Yankees had two other options to start this game. They could have gone with Luis Gil. They could have gone with Will Warren. And they went with this guy. Why? Because he throws 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. He's got really electric stuff and doesn't seem as if he gets too emotional. I think both pitchers are going to be on a short leash. Early has 29 strikeouts in 19 innings in the big leagues. But this is just his 5th big league start. Went to the University of Virginia. Buster Olney spoke to the head coach in Virginia, said, this kid is not going to be scared away by the moment. Now, that's what they always say. You could be, it's like the old Mike Tyson line. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the nose. When you take the mound at Yankee Stadium and there are 48,000 people screaming at the top of their lungs at the beginning, you can't plan for that. You've never dealt with that. Schlittler didn't deal with that at Northeastern. Early didn't deal with that at Virginia. Something else snaps in. A survival instinct. Or toughness that I'm not going to let this end me. If I had a bet on either of the two guys being more ready, it's the guy that has had 15 starts and not 5. And that would be Schlittler. We'll see. I think it's going to be fascinating. And again, both managers will pull their pitcher in the first inning if need be. And it does need be because this is it. There's no tomorrow. And don't worry about keeping somebody fresh for game 1 of the ALDS. Forget about that. You're not getting to the ALDS unless you win this game. You piece together game 1 with duct tape if you have to. You just do. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Tom in East Rutherford. Tom.
Hey, Michael. Thanks for having me on.
You got it.
And I was dying laughing about your Sidney Sweeney comment earlier. My first point is I'd like to make just personally to you. 64 years of age, Michael, is the new 44 years of age. I've heard you saying you might scale back. You're in your twilight. Please, 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 Michael. The other announcers are great, but you are the straw that stirs the drink. So please reconsider. We need at least 125, 130 from you.
Well, I mean, I'm locked in. I'll tell you what, Tom, I'm locked in for 3 more years at least at 135, so I'm not planning on going anywhere.
There you go. Oh, that's great news. All right, so you've been saying about Schlittler, baby Cole, Schlittler. He's going to have a short leash. He's not going to have the same leash that Rodon had last night, giving up 2 in the first 3 innings.
Right.
Do you think the Yankees regret not putting Luis Gil on this roster, just in case DEFCON 5, you get into trouble, and with our bullpen, the way it's been, not having that gun in the pen if he gets in trouble early, do you think the Yankees are regretting that?
I don't think they regret it, Tom, for this reason. They think they have a guy that also has swing and miss ability that can come out of the bullpen. That's Will Warren. And Luis Gil has not been overly impressive since he came off the IL. His numbers are okay, but he seems like he's trying to be an artist on the mound rather than the pitcher that he is. He's sacrificing velocity to try to gain command, and he's walking too many people. So I don't think that they thought his stuff translated out of the bullpen, because you can't come out of the bullpen and walk people. So if the Yankees need some length, and you don't really need length out of the bullpen, because the Red Sox proved that yesterday. They didn't bring in a length guy when they took out Bayo in the third inning. They brought in short guys for an inning plus, 2 innings by Wilson. That's what the Yankees will do. And if they need some length and they feel that there's a good lane for Warren, they will bring him in. But otherwise, you'll see Leiter, you'll see Blackburn, you'll see Doval, you'll see Weaver. I mean, everybody will be on board. I don't think that they would bring back Fried or Rodon. Those are the only pitchers on the staff that I don't think that we'll see today. But no, I don't think they regret the Heel thing, because Heel started on Sunday, and that would still be short rest for him. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is Thursday. I still don't think they'd want to pitch Heel today. Now, if they really wanted Heel, they wouldn't have started him Sunday. So the fact that they started him Sunday, they did not want him pitching in the short series. But as I mentioned earlier, if the Yankees make the ALDS, there's a good chance that Hill will start Game 1 on Saturday against the Blue Jays. Let's go to Vinny in Staten Island. Vinny.
What's up, Michael?
Hey, Vin.
Mike, before I get to my point, I got a bone to pick with you. Soto isn't one of the greatest pit players in Major League history.
I never said players,
You're saying that
hitters.
before.
Hitters.
Okay, well, he's not one of the greatest hitters in Major League Baseball. I just want to make a point about Anthony Volpe, about all the naysayers about Volpe. This kid is proving his worth in the field. He's such a disturbance on the bases, and with his bat also. This kid could be the next Jeter at shortstop for the Yankees. I love the way he plays. I remember him playing as a 12, 13-year-old. My son played against him out in Jersey. This kid's going to be some ball player. He's just shown he got what it takes in these playoffs. Thank you, Michael, for the call. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
You got it, Vin. Listen, playoff Volpe is completely different than regular season Volpe. And I said this on the postgame yesterday. If he played like this in the regular season, this is the guy that they want him to be. He's a 300 hitter. He has power. He makes the plays in the field. It's hard to ignore he did not have a good year this year. So I believe his first year in the big leagues, his WAR was 3.3 or 3.4. Last year it dropped to 3.3. This year it dropped to 1.4. It's unacceptable. That's not good enough. Not good enough. He knows he has to be better than that. But I told you from, even when they benched him, he was going to be the shortstop in the playoffs. He's more reliable than Caballero, and he's proven in the playoffs to be a guy that can hit. He's a 300 hitter in the playoffs, a different guy. This guy hit a grand slam in the World Series. Just don't forget stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, you're saying he's going to be the next Jeter. I think that's a little bit hyperbolic. But he should be showing us more of that in year 3. Do I think he could be a contributing shortstop on a championship team? I do. And when people right now are rolling their eyes, and I say, whoa, don't roll your eyes. He was a shortstop on a team that went to the game 5 of the World Series last year. So you don't think he could be a shortstop on a World Series winning team? Let's go to Mike in Staten Island. Mike.
Hey, how you doing, Mike? Great to talk to you.
Thanks, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So I have just a quick thing about Judge, but I have a little side note about Volpe, if that's all right.
Okay.
So Anthony Volpe, I don't know if it's just me, but the way he looks in the playoffs is totally different from the way he looks in the regular season. I just feel like that play he made last night on the jump throw was poised and it looked great. I mean, that was a huge play in the game, and I feel like he has a little bit of a different tone to him come playoffs. I don't know.
He's got to somehow channel that in the regular season, Mike.
He looks just like a totally different player come playoff time. I feel like he has that clutch in him that you don't tend to see so much in the regular season, but he really looks like he got it. Maybe Jeter-esque. But think about Judge. I feel like I'm really happy with the way he's performed so far. It's nice to see him hitting the ball well. Do you think that like a big home run game is due? I feel like it's sort of like right there, and I feel like it's just going to set him off. Hopefully to have a huge series against Toronto. Do you feel like that's maybe in the cards for him?
Well, when I watch him, Mike, I want to see if he's on time. And, with the singles that he's had, he's been on time. He's hitting the ball hard. which means that he could lift the ball and hit one over the wall. Maybe he could do it against Early. When he's not on time, then I'm concerned. And then the home runs don't come. But usually when he's hitting the singles like he is now, the home runs do come. We'll see if it happens tonight. You know, the Yankees won a game yesterday with only one home run. And then they hit the one home run in game one. So usually when they win, they hit 2 or more home runs. Is Judge a candidate to hit a home run today? Of course. Red Sox are starting a kid left-hander, so it's right there in front of them. Spencer in East Windsor. Spencer.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm the guy who called up one of the guys who called up in the summer. I wasn't exactly wishing for a Yankees-Red Sox series, but I reconciled that if we are to play them, then the upside would be the chance to get to finally vanquish them after they've had success against us these past 2 years. Never want to get overconfident. I think if I was Alex Cora and if I was talking to the media and if I was talking to my team, looking at their present situation, mainly about their use of the bullpen, I'd probably be saying, look, since we traded Rafael Devers, everybody has written us off. Nobody has given us a chance. Nobody thought that we would be here. When we were competing for the wild card during the regular season, everybody was expecting us to fall off. So as good as I feel about the Yankees in this game tonight, and it's always better to be the team that was facing elimination and persevered, I don't want to get overconfident, and that's what I'd be saying to my team if I was Alex Cora.
Well, I mean, I don't think the Yankees feel overconfident. They shouldn't. I mean, they have a kid pitcher going as well. You never know what's going to happen in one game. Anything can happen in one game. So, I mean, you should feel confident. Both teams should feel confident. But I will tell you this: the way Alex Cora managed yesterday, he wanted to avoid a game 3 because he knew he had a kid pitcher waiting. A guy making his 5th big league start in a do-or-die game. That's why he took out Brian Bayo in the 3rd inning with 1 out. He knew exactly what he was doing. He desperately wanted to win that game. Desperately. Now, one thing I would push back on you on, if the Yankees win this series, vanquish the Red Sox? Really? Does that make up for 2004? Does it make up for the other 2 times they lost in the postseason? No, those things happened. The only thing this does is get you to play the Toronto Blue Jays. It doesn't vanquish anybody. There's no revenge. You'll never get over 2004. Ever. That will live in infamy. You blew a 3-0 lead to your arch rivals who had not won a World Series since 1918. You gave them the opportunity to do that, and now they've won 3 more since then. There's no vanquishing going on. Red Sox are a team that's going to be around a long time. Remember, they're playing the series without Roman Anthony, one of their most important players. And the Yankees are playing the series without Garrett Cole and without Clark Schmidt. Because the way the Yankees dreamed up this season, Garrett Cole was going to start game 1 of this series. Then Max Fried. Then Carlos Rodon tonight. This is not the way it was drawn up in spring training. That's why I laugh. I laugh when people, make predictions in spring training. Could anybody have predicted that the Yankees are going to be playing a do-or-die game in the wild card round and Cam Schlittler would be the starter? No, that's not the way it was drawn up in the preseason meetings or the offseason meetings at Yankee Stadium in Tampa. It's not the way it was drawn up. But teams make adjustments. Cam Schlittler got an opportunity because Clark Schmidt went down, because Marcus Stroman wasn't effective, because earlier Luis Heel didn't pitch the first 4 months of the season, and then Tommy John surgery for Garrett Cole. There would have been no Will Warren this year if everything went according to plan, and Cam Schlittler would probably be a year or 2 away. But things change, and now he's pitching, up to this point, the most important game of the year. Hey, getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step fitting process to make sure your new bed fits you perfectly. The right fit, the right price, plus free delivery. It's what they do. Only at PC Richard & Son. Free delivery on mattresses $199 and up. Excludes Manhattan. See stores for details.
Ballybet Sportsbook. Yo, Ballybet stacked for football season. When it comes to sportsbook apps, it's undefeated. Ballybet. Check out that brand new parlay zone. Here's the kickoff. Build your bets and place them right on your phone. What? Live bets, daily boosts, and promos. Increase your odds so you can win more dough. Touchdown! Ballybet's the play. Make game day more fun and download it today. Must be 21 plus, New York only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Ballybet Sportsbook and Casino. Download it.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters, but those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
John Ryan.
Yeah, Dad.
I think I came up with a killer slogan for our law firm. D'Agostino and Associates, bite back.
Bite back?
Yeah. When someone hurts you, you bite back. We'll be the law firm that bites back.
Dad, that's brilliant. Accident victims, call D'Agostino and Associates and bite back. Hey, we could even put a big vicious dog on billboards everywhere.
Yeah, and Rottweilers on buses.
Hey, how about a toll-free number?
What are you thinking?
You know, like 1-800-BITE-BACK.
1-800-BITE-BACK. That's brilliant.
But what if people hear fight back?
Easy. I'll spell it out for them, like 1-800-BITE, back. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Love it. Hey, Dad.
Yeah?
All this talk about biting back got me hungry.
Me too. Want to grab lunch?
Sure. Hey, how about a jingle?
You mean like
D'Agostino Law Bite Back?
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Yankees and the Red Sox tonight, 8 o'clock, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Baseball world will be watching those two teams go at it to see who will play the Toronto Blue Jays in the ALDS that starts Saturday, and that game will start at 4 o'clock. Sunday's game, Game 2, will also be at 4 o'clock. You can listen to Game 3 of the Wildcard series right here on 880 ESPN. You could watch it on ESPN, and obviously you could see the pregame show for an hour at 7 o'clock starting on Yes, and then following the final pitch on the ESPN broadcast, we'll have a 90-minute postgame, either a postmortem on the season or we will cover the game and then look ahead to the series against the Blue Jays. Let's go to Sam in Cleveland. Sam.
Good afternoon, Michael K. How are you?
I'm good, Sam. How are you?
We're doing well today. Let's see. I wanted to kind of answer your question the point that you just kind of made about whether or not beating Boston tonight kind of gets rid of 2004. I agree it definitely doesn't. Like, that was bad. It happened. However, from the perspective of someone my age, I'm 26. I was 10 when we won in 2009. And at the time, I was just kind of like, I remember my dad was screaming at the TV. I was like, this is what we do. We're the Yankees. We have Jeter. We have all these legends. However, as I've gotten older and, matured a little bit more, I learned more kind of about, like, the economics of sports, along with, people my age and then, like, this generation of Yankee fans. Mm-hmm. We have not really seen the Yankees beat a rival in the playoffs. So tonight, if they win this, and I think that they will, it feels more of like a purging of the demons for this Aaron Boone and Aaron Judge era, where all that we've seen is let down. They're only able to beat AL Central teams. They haven't been able to beat Boston, Houston, Tampa, any of your rivals in the playoffs. And it's just, you get memed all the time. That's why tonight I believe in this team. I want them to win. I want them to win so bad. I think that this is one of the best teams that I've seen under Aaron Boone. And if they win this, I think they're going to the World Series, because this is just mentally a purging of the demons.
Well,
and that's what that is.
Sam, I can buy that. But you're not avenging 2004. Nothing can avenge that. It's never been done before. Who knows if it'll ever be done again? That was rock bottom. And you've lost 2 series to them since. So you're right. It does vanquish some demons where, okay, we can't get through anybody but the American League Central. Cool. But if you win tonight, that's no guarantee you're going to the World Series, because the next step is really hard. Toronto's better than Boston. Seattle, I think, is on the same par as Toronto. Now, maybe you catch a break and either the Guardians or the Tigers beat the Mariners, maybe. And then it just takes an American League Central team to get to the World Series. But I told you this at the beginning when this started, when we talked to you at first on Monday. Last year was a joyride. And if they didn't get to the World Series, it would have been an absolute ridiculous disappointment. The road is much tougher this year. Much tougher. You're going to have to get through 2 American League East teams who you didn't have any success against during the regular season. And then you're probably going to have to get past the Seattle team that you did have some success against, but boy, they've got really good pitching. This is a much harder road than last year. But vanquish to me means, well, that's it. You never have to deal with them again. They're only going to get better. Remember, they lost Christian Casas. They traded Devers, which was that was their own decision, and then they lost Roman Anthony to an oblique injury. So we talked about how the best laid plans of mice and men sometimes go awry. They went awry for the Red Sox. Red Sox are a home run hitting team that don't hit home runs anymore because they don't have the personnel to do it. So they've got to string together hits, and they've got to play a clean game. Yesterday they didn't play a clean game. That's why they lost. We're still waiting on the lineup, which is going to be very interesting. If we don't have it by the end of our show, which is going to be about a minute, then Don Hahn and Rosenberg will break it down. But a lot of tough decisions for Aaron Boone. Do you start Goldschmidt against the lefty? Do you start Rice, who had another good game yesterday? Do you start Wells, who I think they will start? Obviously, they're going to start Chisholm. The one thing we know for sure, you're going to have Cam Schlittler on the mound. Maybe they don't play McMahon against the lefty. Maybe they put Caballero at third base. This is the fun part, but also the part where you earn your money if you're the manager. You're going to make decisions that if they work out, nobody will even say anything. And if they don't, then you're a goat. Like, we spent all of Wednesday's show talking about him taking out Max Fried. He probably thought that was the right move. I thought it was the wrong move. It turned out to be the wrong move. I thought not starting Jazz Chisholm was the wrong move. He started him yesterday, and Chisholm showed you what he can do. The guy's a star. You let stars play on the biggest stage. The lineup composition is going to be fascinating. Can't wait to see it. Well, we're back again tomorrow at 1 o'clock, either a post-mortem show or look ahead to the Blue Jays. Also, we'll make our football picks, 2-pack for sure. By the way, I've gone 4-0 the last 2 weeks. So if you want to make money, that's the way to go. Yankees, Red Sox tonight. You could hear it here. Watch it on ESPN. Pre- and post-game show on Yes. And again, we'll be back again tomorrow at 1. Coming up, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. So in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for a goodbye again. See everybody. Have a great night. Enjoy the game. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thursday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Jazz, Chisholm, and Ben Rice were back in the lineup last night and were big contributors in the Yankees' Game 2 win.